Thank you for joining us for this episode of That Solo Life, the podcast for PR pros and marketers who work for themselves. People like me, Michelle Kane with Voice Matters, and my wonderful friend and co-host, Karen Swim of Solo PR Pro, the hive for all independent solos. Hi, Karen. How are
Hi,
you doing today?
hi, Michelle. I am still recovering from the flu, but good. How are you?
I am gratefully not recovering from the flu, knock on wood yet. Just, trying to, I think we're all just trying to keep our heads above water and sane in these wacky times.
Yeah, for
Who,
sure.
who knows what will have transpired by the time this airs in a couple of weeks? I could put on my Karnak, the magnificent hat, and hopefully say that when I say "Go Birds," have been a good thing and won't make some of us sad. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about us, us as wonderful solo
Yeah.
PR and marketing practitioners. And just, I know I suffer from it, right? Just sometimes that imposter syndrome, or sometimes, especially if you do work on your own day in, day out, you can start to chip away at your own confidence, which we just want to push back at that a little bit. I know it's usually unfounded. It is sometimes as a result of those we work around. You see things happening and you think, but that's not how we do it, but it happens anyway. It's just a lot of circumstances that can bring us there. So we're here today to bolster us all and help us realize, no, we're good at what we do and people should work with us.
Well, I found it interesting. There's an article that's kind of made its way around the internet from PR Calvary, and it's talking about PR freelancers and asking the question, do they have a confidence problem? But one
Right.
of the observations in this article that I think is spot on is that we really don't have a center of gravity. So
Mm,
there's big agencies, PR, when we talk about PR and we talk about
yeah.
the best of the best, it's all like anchored in big brand agency names and these, institutions that have been around. And then you have all of these freelancers that, we're all solo PR pros. And so there's not a central like solo PR pro agency other than we're not an agency, but a community. And so
Yeah.
when you're looking at your work and yourself in comparison to all of these, giant institutions, there can be this question of where do you really fit in that and how do your skill sets compare because you're comparing your, micro agency to these giants.
Right, right. And I think that's sometimes where we can trip ourselves up because while we do the same general work,
Yeah.
it's not quite the same, right? And we're also up against the perception of that reality. And also just the fact that communications, corporate communications, B2B, B2C, it needs a professional touch and it needs someone who has studied how to do this. So I think for all of those reasons, sometimes we can just get in this mind cycle of, oh my gosh, I can't compete with these big agencies. Da, 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 da. But yeah, you can. You can because let's think about it. If a client goes to a larger agency, they're not getting every single employee in that agency. They're not getting that agency's full 100% attention. They're getting the attention of a team. Well, what does your business offer? Even if it is just you, like it's just me, but I'm very straightforward with I pull together the team of experts for whatever needs to be accomplished. So it's really not that different.
I agree. And I think that we as solo PR pros are going to have to really take control of this conversation and help the industry as well as clients to understand our place in this universe of, communications. We are not the same as the large agencies, and that's not a negative. It's just a difference. There is a differentiation between what we offer, what we do, and what they offer and what they do. And there is a place for each of us, but it shouldn't be competitive, in my opinion. One of the things that Chip Griffin said in his Small
Mm,
Agency Growth Alliance newsletter that I liked, he talked about standing tall in weakness. And so
mm,
talks about, the things that we perceive as a weakness, own them, unless, of course, it's a true weakness in your skill sets. But
Right.
we can sometimes see it as a weakness that we're small. That's not
Yeah.
a weakness. It's a strength, and you need to own it, and you need to be able to stand in it and to really demonstrate why that's a value, why it's an asset. And I think that these days, particularly, there are definitely clients that place value on the team rather than the brand name.
Yeah.
And I think you have to focus in on that. Your strength is your team.
I agree. I agree. Full stop. And there really should be little difference between, yes, might a larger agency have more connections? Yeah, possibly. But I keep thinking to what I've seen mentioned a lot lately. I think even outside of our industry, just as people, we can talk ourselves into the fact that everybody knows so much more than we do.
Mm.
But just remember, most of the time when you get in these rooms, they're not that smarter than you. They're not that much smarter than you. You are quite well capable in your own right. I mean, clearly you've made it this far. If you're listening to this, you've either started your own business or you're at the point in your career where you think you are capable of doing it. So trust that.
Yeah.
Trust that and don't let go of it because it's going to lead you to success. So I think a lot of it, and only the viewers are going to be able to see this, but I'll never forget the first time I worked with a business coach. She goes, "Most of your problems are here." And she waved her hands next to her head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's
True.
right.
It's true.
It's in my own head.
I mean, what I would love to see is I would love to see our industry, our collective industry, truly embrace various models of working and to
Yes.
really not make independence an afterthought in their
Yeah.
conferences, in their programming. So often it's very one-sided
Yeah.
because I believe that large agencies and solo PR pros really can benefit one another. And we have a lot of information that we can share and we can help to sharpen one another's skill sets. It's true that sometimes large agencies get to work on what seems these dream projects by just because of the
Sure.
sheer size and some of the sizes of the accounts that they get to work on because they
Right.
have the resources to do that. And
Right.
it could just seem like, wow, it can feel outside of what we might be capable of doing.
Yeah.
But I want us all to remember when we did work in traditional jobs and you think about your role in your company and the job that you had to do, it was pretty narrowly focused. Now, as a solo PR pro, you have expanded your professional skill set beyond might what be typical in this profession. And it's given you an opportunity to try things that maybe you would not have been able to try, to approach problem solving in a completely innovative way. And I would not dismiss that value that you bring to the table. But again, I feel like, again, that we need to talk to one another more and to embrace both sides of how we work and understand that they have something to teach us from the way that they do business, and we have
Yeah.
something to teach them, and that there's room for all of us.
Oh, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And this could be pie in the sky thinking, but it would be so nice just to see all of our various associations not merge, but just unite in a common goal to move forward the profession of communications. Let's get the AMA, PPRA, every PRSA out there, you know, IABC. Wouldn't it
Yes.
be nice to just have on a higher level, like, hey, let's do a PSA campaign about what we do as
I
trusted advisors?
I agree. We don't often get embraced, we get siloed. And
Yeah.
that is frustrating to me. And then when we try to embrace the programming that's aimed at communicators, so often it only is aimed at one segment of communicators. And
Yes.
that is that's a continued source of frustration for me
Yeah.
to walk into these spaces where I'm supposed to learn and then to see that it really doesn't even fit the way that I work. And the
Right.
knowledge is so far behind what I do that it's not
Right.
even helpful. So I'd like for us not to be shoved off into, a couple of tracks, but there to be this inclusivity around all of us
Yeah.
that embraces it, and it shouldn't matter. I mean, even awards and recognition, they're often so centered in, you having a corporate job or surveys. When they
Yeah.
survey
Oh,
our industry, it's just
yeah.
like, okay,
I'll,
none of this applies to me.
yeah. I'll make it maybe 3, 4 questions in, and I'm like, close the window.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. But, I think that too can spur us on
Yes.
and be an inspiration to try and make things better, because we are a growing vocal group, and
The amount of people that work independently across professions has grown dramatically over the years
yes.
and will continue to grow. And this, I think that we can firmly say, and we've been able to say this for many years, that working for yourself is a mainstream way of working. This is not
Yep.
the stuff of the hippies, the surfer dudes. It is a mainstream step in your career, and it's
Yeah.
one that you can step into and step out of. And
Yeah.
so I think that we have to do a better job of vocalizing our
Yeah.
place in this industry,
True.
taking part in things and making our peers aware of the nature of our jobs, and that have them to start to give us the respect too. But we have to
Yeah.
respect ourselves. And, as our friendship wisely says, stand tall in
Yeah.
your weakness. It's not your weakness at all. It's actually your superpower.
Wow. I can't add anything to that. So let's end on that wonderful note. Let's all get out there and stand tall and talk ourselves up. So I hope you found this worthwhile. We thank you for joining us for this episode. And if you did find it helpful, please share it around, especially with the good mojo we're producing here today. Let's go out and get that business and grow your business. And until next time, thanks for listening to That Solo Life.